everybody, so welcome to my health and happiness channel. So today we are actually going to be talking about dating men here in San Diego. Yes, your girl said it. Let me tell ya the entire tea. I'm not changing my outfit. This is gonna be like from the other video. So let's get right into it. West Coast versus East Coast men. Yes, your girl said it. It depends. What are you looking for in a guy? So let's just put like 5 differences between men in New York City and men in San Diego, California. New York City men, I would say, are more fashionable. They're definitely more fashionable. If you want to get a man that's more fit, I would say men in San Diego. They're extremely fit here. Most men are fit here. So if you like nice bodies or you're into health, you're gonna get it with the men here. New York City, it's a hit or miss. You know, the men in New York could look good in the summertime, and in the wintertime it's something different. No, I just feel like the men here are more attractive. I'm not even gonna lie, I feel like they're more attractive. If you want men that are more into finance, you're probably gonna get men in New York City. They're more into finance. They probably dress up 9 to 5. Men here, even if they are wealthy, and I'm only saying that because I've heard that there's a lot of wealthy people here that don't dress up. I personally dress up. They said it's kind of like the opposite. The wealthy don't dress, and the ones that not maybe dress. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that a lot of, wealthy people here, they just dress like in, board shorts, like, shorts and stuff like that on a daily basis, because it's a beach environment. Whereas in New York City, the more posh you dress, the more money you have. But yeah, we're getting into men. I'm going off on another tirade. So yeah, the men here are more definitely laid back. They're definitely more laid back. They're more calm. They're more chilled. I would even say they're more respectful. I would say they're more gentlemen. I've noticed that. The dates here are going to be definitely more adventurous dates. So I am from the East Coast. I'm typically used to a guy taking you like to a show, like a Broadway show, museum, dinner, something like that. That's what I like. All men, I'm not gonna lie, men here do the same thing as they do on the East Coast. Let's go out for drinks. But I am not that type of female because I very rarely touch liquor. So for me, men have to do something different, so I'm that person that I'll do all the other stuff I just mentioned. So men here are more likely to take you on an adventurous date. So you have to decide, do you prefer an adventurous date or do you prefer a date where a guy is spending a lot of money? Which one would you like? And I actually did a poll on my Instagram, and a lot of women stated that, all the women actually stated that they would prefer a guy to take them on an adventurous date. So a guy here might take you hiking. He might take you somewhere to a hidden swing or something like that. I'm gonna give you an example, and I'm gonna show you some footage. I went to some secret swings in La Jolla, and I have found one with one of my girlfriends. So I went out with this guy. I'm not going to mention his name. We're not talking anymore. But I went out with this guy, and he probably will be in the footage because he wanted to be. I went out with this guy, and he wanted to, our first date, we actually went to a restaurant called Bali High. It's super beautiful in Shelter Island. It's like a Polynesian restaurant paradise. So the second date, he was like, it was a surprise. And he's like, just wear, athletic clothing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I wore this athletic clothing, and he takes me to some place that's like off a beaten path. You have to go underneath the bridge, literally go through the bridge to get to it. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing this, and I'm dramatic. Dramatic as hell, And I was like, I don't know what you're trying to take me to. You're trying to kill me. Like, I'm not here for it. I'm not going. Like, you're not gonna have me part of a horror story. But I ended up going. And you walk down this whole entire path, and pretty much you end up at La Jolla's Cove, and it's super, not La Jolla's Cove, you end up at this oasis where there's like this tire swing, there's this rope swing, and you just see like this beautiful view of the water, but it's a muddy trail. So that was like our first date. It was super adventurous. Like, it had me like having butterflies and like adrenaline rushing all over the place. It was beautiful. We did that. And then he went to go to the restaurant or wherever it was. He wasn't telling me. He just gave me like a little pinpoint that he sent on my phone. And he just told me I had to get dressed up. So I'm getting dressed in my car, ladies. Yes. Your girl is getting dressed in her entire car. I'm getting dressed in my car for like 10 minutes to meet him at this restaurant and go from like rags to riches. And he was like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. And he kept telling me like, wow, everyone is staring at you. So let me tell you, I did a good job with no wipes. I don't even know how. I just had water to, do a difference, to go from, like I said, to Cinderella. So we did that, and I just thought that was like so amazing. Like, I would take that experience over something else with a guy. Also on another first date with a guy, we went hiking at Cow's Mountain, and that was really nice. The guy, I wasn't really feeling him, but we did go on a date, and that was really, really nice there. I went with another guy on a date to the boardwalk late at night. We walked around, and we sat where people was playing music, and then we went into a lounge, and then after that I'm trying to think what else we did. Yes, we did that. Then we went on the boardwalk. Actually, we went on the boardwalk and we actually went to the beach, and we actually sat out on the beach and just talked and watched the moonlight. It was so romantic and beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie. Another guy, he took me to Sunset Cliff, which is super beautiful. My first few days here, and you probably wonder, have I done anything since I've been here? I've been here almost like 2 months and change. I've only slept with one person one time, and that was pretty much it. So I would say I am having, even though I'm going on a lot more dates here, I'm probably having a harder time connecting with men here. I don't know why. I think it's just easier. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm used to more like East Coast men, but it's easier for me to connect with East Coast men. I will say this, I think East Coast men have more cultural awareness of different ethnicities. Men here are super polite and they're very respectful, more so than East Coast men, I would say that. But I would just say having the exposure of being around people of all different cultures a lot, I think they lack that here. I think sometimes that can create like a gap or a divide in just me feeling like a connection to them. That's the only way I can explain it. But the men here are super polite, so I just haven't found men here that I'm like really connected to yet or meshing with in terms of like an emotional connection. I went out with another guy on another date to Bali High because I love nice restaurants. It's beautiful. It's like I would say it's like Polynesian food mixed with like Asian food. And he is a whole entire story time. Like he's a whole entire mood. Like when I talk about like check, he is a whole mood in terms of why did homeboy's car decline and he had like 20 of them, and he was a surgeon. He's a whole entire mood. He's for a whole story time. But yeah, so I went out with that guy as well. So I went out with another guy to a restaurant in the Gaslamp district, and he was like such a gentleman. So I've been on like different types of dates. I've been on like the traditional dates, but I've been on the very adventurous dates. And I would say here I probably would prefer the adventurous dates a lot more, honestly. And recently I wouldn't consider it to be a date. I did meet someone just like going someplace by myself. I went someplace by myself called Queen Calafia's Magical Garden, and I met a guy there. We like just started talking, and I saw him as his friend, and then from there he ended up taking me to a restaurant in Ensenada for vegan food, and then we went to this rock garden. So I'm like saying, like, just like go out there and just meet people. Like I've been meeting people, just doing things by myself and doing things with other people, definitely coming out of my comfort zone. But I would definitely say this, men here are definitely more athletic. If you equate great dates to money, you're probably going to be unhappy here. But if you equate great dates to experiences, you're probably going to be very happy here. The men are definitely more open to different experiences, and I would say that men here are willing and open to dating all women with all ethnic backgrounds, which I think is really great. It's just more for me just finding a guy that I connect with emotionally here, which is hard for me, and I haven't done it yet. And I'm not saying like it's hard, it's easy for me to go on dates, but like finding that emotional connection with them is a little harder for me so far, and I haven't found that yet, even though the men here are really nice and very attractive. So I would say that's the one thing that I'm having a hard time with, but I still would prefer men here. I would say probably than the men on the East Coast, even though I connect with men on the East Coast more. And I think it's just because like I'm used to them. You just kind of like have to untrain yourself. But yeah, so that's my dates here in San Diego. So I would say if you want men that are athletic, if you want a guy that's going to dress up all the time, he's not going to do it here. You might be the one dressing up if you go out with him, if you choose to, and some women don't as well. But I like to dress up. So I also noticed that when I dress up, men are more likely to dress up because they know that I'm a girl that likes to dress up. So I feel like they try to impress me, so they come dressed on the dates, and they also tell me that they like the fact that I get dressed up, because a lot of women don't. So that's why I said don't change you for anyone. So I would say I've had the most unique dates here in San Diego. And I also came to San Diego last year, and last year when I came, I went paragliding on the first date with a guy, yes, at Torrey Pines Glider Port. He said he was the owner there. Is he? I'm not sure, but he said he was the owner, and he took me paragliding at Torrey Pines Glider Port in a tandem with him. I don't have footage from it, but it was like the most exhilarating date I've ever had, except the guy who just took me to the tire swing in La Jolla. So I would say, yeah, the dates here are definitely going to be full of adrenaline, and I really did enjoy that. So if you want a dating story time, just let me know, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So bye everybody. Health and Happiness and Kara Barbie on Instagram.